we are also going to go into the cultural impact of this movie
Yeah,
and the
it's huge.
promotion that
I
was
have-
put behind
I
it
have a
because
lot
it
to
was
say.
hype.
That was
This movie would have broken some box office records without even being a good movie. If it was a shit movie.
Definitely
Yeah.
because of the African
Yeah.
cultural thing.
Exactly.
and
The
hype
the
that was
black
built around
culture.
it.
But that's a brilliant segue. Is it a good movie?
Ooh,
Jeff takes the floor.
Oh, that's a difficult
Jeff
question.
takes the floor.
I don't think it's that good of a movie.
State your case.
It is just there's one problem I have with every Marvel movie. It is just too similar. It's the same shit all over again.
Okay. Well, I didn't watch.
But that's not the case with this movie.
This
That's
movie,
what I
has,
thought.
this movie has a bit of that in it. Like it's similar to the Spider-Man movie in the sense that somebody comes home, some shit happens, and out of that, there's one battle at the end, and then
Yeah,
some.
but I mean that's like complaining about every horror movie being scary. It's a genre.
No,
Right,
it's
it's
a
the
genre thing,
formula
but
of
it's a
the
genre thing,
movies.
but it's also like it is very predictable. Like you sit in
No, not this one.
this
You
one.
thought this one was predictable? I didn't think.
I
this
had
was
some
predictable.
moments where, like, the first half was not that predictable, but as soon as you get into the second half, if you get into the Killmonger stuff, everything is just.
No,
It felt
what
like-
are you,
I disagree.
What's he talking about?
I
Nah,
totally
I felt like-
disagree.
Fucking no.
I think-
Well,
I
first
think
of all,
To me, it felt like pretty.
I went and I don't watch a lot of Marvel movies at all, and I don't like them very much. I went in very skeptical, but I thought the movie was actually very good. I thought it was a very good film. So I enjoyed watching it. I think they did a great job. I definitely don't think it was predictable, especially the Killmonger part. I didn't think it was predictable.
Like
at all.
the idea of Killmonger was brilliant. Actually, I liked his character. I liked how he what he stood for and what he represented, what he could talk about in the Marvel universe and in general, like culturally, like what he's trying to convey with that.
That's a point that makes him the movie itself already better than other Marvel movies because there's a villain that you actually care of.
All right, but I want to go deep into this. So before we do that, spoiler alert.
Oh, we're going to spoil
how
the
that-
whole fucking movie.
Yeah,
You have to make sure you
There's
say it.
Yeah.
You get-
We should have said it at
If
the
you
beginning.
haven't watched it by now, you're trash.
Yeah, you watch it now. What's wrong? Yeah. No, but anyways, I didn't think it was predictable at all. I mean, the part of where he, for example, killed Ulysses Claw and then took him there. As
That was shocking,
I didn't
right?
expect that. I thought he was going to go there.
He's
with
the
him.
main villain of Black Panther, and
At
they
that point-
killed him in this movie
At
already.
that point,
Yeah.
till that point, I would say like everything there, not everything, but it was surprising. It was fun. It was engaging. But the Killmonger, like the idea of Killmonger, was more interesting to me than some of the execution of it. Like sending the weapons to other countries. That was like, yeah, that happens in every movie. Like we send some ships away, and
True, that's
Shit
the
happens,
Marvel formula.
that's the Marvel shit.
That's
Yeah,
the
okay.
standard superhero thing. If you don't do that in a superhero movie, how is it going to be a superhero?
Like,
Like,
no,
there's
hold on,
certain elements.
I'm not over this beef yet about the predictability. What was predictable? What
Yo,
part?
whoa, I'm still going into that.
I mean,
It-
some
it didn't
parts,
have
not
that-
part, not the.
Not
Like,
like,
okay,
how-
where he goes in, like, and they have the herb that they have to take, and when he wakes up, he says they should burn all of it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
I expected that. Like that's what a villain does.
But I can
But-
understand that
Like,
it didn't
maybe-
have the whoa effect. There was never this really big whoa moment like, oh, this is a shocking
Yeah.
moment in a movie. I agree with that, but that doesn't make it bad.
No, it doesn't make it bad, but it makes it less enjoyable for me.
Wait, but did the other Marvel movies have that? Because not any.
Other Marvel movies have similar kind of stuff. Like maybe
No, but I mean like a
thing-
whoa moment, like he's saying.
a whoa moment.
In other Marvel
I would
movies,
say the only one that came close is Captain
The
America.
Nick Fury thing. The Nick Fury thing in
And
Captain
the-
America. Where
first
he's
one?
in the car and suddenly he gets
Yes,
attacked.
yes.
That was like a crazy
Yeah.
whoa moment.
In Captain America, what was
That's the Winter Soldier,
The
right?
Winter Soldier. There's a sequence where Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, is in a car and suddenly he gets attacked, and everything in there is like surprising. It is innovative. It's stuff you would see in the comics, but not in this way. It would be like simple shit. Car blows up and everything is done, but everything was really intricate and it made sense, and it was really like surprising how we got out of there. Anyways, and then at the end, later in the movie, he returns. On
Yeah, he was
spectacular
killed.
fashion.
He was
Like-
killed and then he came back.
It was-
on a weird way.
Like the Black Panther thing with burning the herbs and everything was very comic book like, but at the same time it was very typical. But for instance, in Winter Soldier with Samuel L. Jackson, that stuff was also comic book like, but it's very surprising. It was very it fit in the story, but at the same time, it was just like, oh shit, this really happens. I didn't expect this to happen.
Well, I think you paid attention to some very different things that I paid attention to. It's probably because I don't watch these movies as much. But for me,
it's also probably also
very-
because I read the comics.
yeah. But
Every
for
now
me,
and
a
then,
very shocking moment that I didn't really expect was the, and maybe if you've read, because people that have read the comics go, so maybe it's different for them. But the whole story behind Eric Killmonger and how, how he basically came to be who he was, with his father being he's basically T'Challa's cousin.
Yeah.
Basically cousins. Like their fathers were brothers. And T'Challa's father killed his father because they were spying on, the United States and seeing what's going on there. And then he became radicalized. That whole background story, and them just, killing, that guy, Eric Killmonger's father, and then leaving him there as a kid.
Yeah.
That was, for me, for a superhero movie, I thought that was pretty dark.
That was, but I don't think that is not a comic thing. That is just they invented that. For
that wasn't in the comics.
Yeah.
Well, that explains why it was so
Exactly.
good.
That's
But
what
but it was.
Explains it. Doesn't
I
it?
know.
That explains a lot.
This is-
That makes a lot of sense.
Because I didn't think I was gonna ask you. Did you predict that whole thing?
No,
There's
that-
no
that's-
way.
I didn't.
but that's why I say-
I didn't see that coming.
But
No,
that's why I
me
say
neither.
the first part of the movie is like really interesting and fun and good to watch because most of, like
But
not
this whole
everything.
backstory came later on near the end. I mean,
Nah, it was
was
not.
the midpoint.
It was the midpoint, like
Switched it.
until
But
the point where he.
Yeah, but it plays into the end. I
Yeah.
agree with him there.
You mean the point that the big battle thing felt just like any other Marvel
the big
movie.
battle was just
And that's what makes you
CGI
think
big
this.
But
puppets
how
running
would
around.
you-
They have to satisfy the children.
Yeah,
They-
right.
I
What do
know,
you want
I
them to
know,
do?
but
And it's
like,
it's still in the Marvel universe, so
Yeah.
it should follow that
can't just do
formula.
some
Some
other
with
sort.
every one
All
of
of
these movies, I hope they really get into a genre like movies do always. Like it's a superhero movie. It is. It will always be a superhero movie. But sometimes I hope they really get into like action adventure or really get into some horror elements or something like that. They go a little bit deeper, but they always
I think-
scratch the surface
I
but
think
never
it-
go.
I think it's
there.
funny because everything you're complaining about is exactly what everyone is applauding this movie for. That it's the one that actually did this. Like I haven't seen the other ones much, but I'm watching all the reviews of people, and everyone's saying, people that like watch every single Marvel movie are saying, this is the one that did something that
Yeah,
none of the other
definitely.
ones do.
The thing that
Going into like a political thing.
Yeah.
And
that's
about
what this movie did, except for
colonialism
all
and-
in comparison to all the others. Like that's the only thing, and that's a good thing.
It's a politically
And it is-
conscious
it's the good part of
film,
the
which is
movie.
also because you were talking about genres. It's like it's a politically conscious film, which is
Yeah.
also a genre of filmmaking.